Good afternoon, MPH community. It's Wednesday afternoon, January 5, 14th week of the school year, and an interesting one to start 2022. I hope everyone had a good holiday. You got plenty of rest, stayed as healthy as possible despite some challenging conditions here. I also just want to appreciate the flexibility and support we've received across the board from our families as we had to make a decision to change the schedule for this week. So with my message, and this will be accompanied by some written information that you'll see, I want to do three things. I want to report back to the community on the results from our Monday's testing. I want to share our decision about the path forward for at least tomorrow and Friday. And I want to provide some context for our decision making. I want to identify areas of real strength for us and some areas where we feel vulnerable. So first and foremost, I need to reiterate a big thank you to all members of this community for your participation on Monday. It's an extraordinary testament to the strength of this school and our community that 96% of us participated in testing in one way or another on Monday. So I want to say thank you to everyone for that kind of support, and a special thanks to our health and safety team and the expanded team that included our EMT students and a number of folks who volunteered to support that effort. It really was quite extraordinary. From Monday's experience, we identified 25 positive cases. And that's a big number. It's a big number in relation to what we've experienced thus far, and yet it's not completely inconsistent with what we know is happening in the larger community. So we had 25 positive cases, and those cases really ranged pretty evenly across all divisions. So there's that. All positive cases, all families where there was a positive case, have been contacted by members of the health and safety team today and have been provided with some good instruction and guidance as to next steps and how to proceed forward. During the process of the testing and contacting families, we also picked up a lot of additional information. Folks who remembered that maybe someone in their family had a positive COVID case a couple weeks ago and were sharing that information with us during these conversations. We suspect that there's probably a fair amount of additional information we may not have. I just want to say thank you to those of you who have been proactive and have informed us of the health status in your family if there's been a positive case, in large part because we know that contact with people who have positive cases, knowing what the situation is there, has been enormously helpful. So if you're remembering something that maybe you haven't communicated, please do so. That's really, really helpful. Again, the surge in positive test cases is not a surprise to us given the recent holidays and the higher level of transmissibility with the Omicron variant. We knew this was coming. We expected it. We also, I think we've all kind of observed that there's been a lack of kind of consistent guidance for all of us across the board, and also maybe a lack of or an inconsistency with health protocols. At MPH, we've been pretty consistent, but broadly speaking, it's been a little bit all over the map. So again, we're not surprised by this uptick. We're taking it very seriously too. I would also say that we believe that the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will continue to see a very high level of positive test cases, and it's going to be a challenging few weeks here for us. We'll stay on top of the situation, we'll remain attentive, and we'll communicate on a regular basis. I do want to say that one of the real strengths for us is the very high rate of vaccination among students and adults who are eligible to be fully vaccinated. I won't go deep into this, but I do want to share with you that during a call this morning with the County Department of Health, one of the bits of information that they shared with us is a new definition for what it means to be fully vaccinated. And where it was once, if you had both, in most cases, both jabs of the vaccination, I realize the Johnson & Johnson situation is different, that constituted fully vaccinated. Well, that's no longer the case now. So for those folks who are eligible to have the booster, you're not considered now fully vaccinated unless you've received the booster. So that's my ineloquent way of saying we really strongly encourage everyone who's eligible for the booster to get it. We know that the benefits of the initial vaccine shots do fade a bit over time, and the booster is now what is part of a fully vaccinated definition. All right, so on to the decision for us in terms of next steps here. We have decided that we're going to proceed with in-person instruction tomorrow. We will make a simulcasting option available to those students, certainly who have tested positive, and also for those students who are either in isolation or are quarantining at some level. So there are going to be a group of students we know who are not going to be here tomorrow, and there will be a simulcasting option available for those students. We also fully anticipate that there are going to be a number of families and students who choose not to come to MPH tomorrow out of an abundance of caution, and we respect that, and we want to make sure you know that you have that option of simulcasting available to you as well. So those options for the academic day are in place for everybody. I do think it's important in terms of managing expectations to understand that in fairness to our teachers, who will always go above and beyond for their students, we're really strongly encouraging them to manage their own sort of expectations for what they can do. And what I mean by this in this instance is that the students who are here in person are going to be the sort of primary participants, if you will, in the in-class instruction. There will be students who are engaging via simulcast, but it's probably going to be just too much of a strain to try to equally include all students in the classroom experience. Again, I'm not trying to either encourage or discourage. I just want to help to manage expectations and want to be clear with respect to expectations for our teachers as well, that they're going to teach to the students who are in the class. I suspect they'll do everything they can to engage at some level students who are simulcasting, but it's the next best option for our students. I also want to make clear the decision that all activities outside of the academic day are going to be put on pause for the foreseeable future. So there'll be no extended day or after hours programming for our student actors and actresses, for those artists who might be staying after school to work on, a painting of some kind. For our athletes, we're going to put on pause all of those activities so that the academic day, when it ends, everybody will be heading home. And that includes, again, our teachers as well, who we want to make sure we're supporting fully. I realize that'll come as some disappointment. It's not a permanent thing. We're going to continue to assess the situation as we go along. I also want to share that for all of us, starting tomorrow and for the foreseeable future, our protocols at MPH have been really a source of great strength for us, and I think we've got a culture where we are adhering to those protocols really pretty well. With that said, we're going to need to tighten up a bit when it comes to snack time and having lunch together. And so where it was at one point we were allowing small groups at a distance to pull their mask down, have their lunch, have some conversation. That was we felt that was acceptable. Specifically in those areas, we're going to really need to tighten up our protocols. So more on that later. I don't think it'll be terribly onerous, but it'll be an important additional requirement for all of us. And then just context. With every decision we make here, we've got a little bit of a mantra, which is we're going to be responsible, resourceful, and reasonable with everything we do. And ultimately, we want to create a healthy environment in which students can learn and grow and be together socially. We also have to make sure that we're doing this in an environment that it feels very safe for us. We believe strongly in the health benefits of an in-person experience, and so we're going to always try to kind of get to that point, and we're trying to do that in this case as well. I would say some other real strengths for MPH is that we've got a great partnership with our families. The testing experience on Monday is evidence of that, and we've had a number of those kinds of community-wide test experiences, and we get a very high rate of participation, over 95% all the time. We also have a strength in that we are, by and large, a fully vaccinated community. Now, not fully vaccinated technically, but students ages 5 and older and all adults at very high rates are in the process of getting both of their vaccination shots and also are getting boosted when they can. Again, I want to encourage the idea of getting your booster shot as soon as you can. So the vaccination rates at MPH we see as a real strength. We also see the culture here as a real strength. And again, we've been taking this really pretty seriously all along. We've stayed on top of it, and we've got great community buy-in, I would say, especially from our students who often lead the way in many ways. But we see that as a real strength. And we also have this incredible capacity with our health and safety team to have dedicated resources to pay attention to all of this on a regular basis. So there's an additional strength for us as well. So again, reasonable, responsible, resourceful. Responsible is always the number one priority for us. We also will pivot if we need to at a moment's notice. If things change and we feel like we need to make a change, we'll do that. And again, I appreciate the buy-in and partnership of the full community. So that's a lot. I realize we're gonna give it our best go here. We're all feeling confident that we can do this responsibly and really well. If anyone has a health-related question, please direct that question to the health and safety team. If students and families have questions about the programming for the next couple of days and going ahead, I think you can contact division heads for sure. If it's an athletic question, our athletic director. If it's a student life question, you can direct that to Pat Bentley-Hoke, who heads up our student life programming. If it's a question that's just very individual to your child and it's just sort of a one-off thing, I think probably going to your student's advisor is the right course of action there. So there's a lot there. Again, we're all going through this together. It's a very unique experience for us, and I know that my colleagues, I have great faith and confidence that they are fully committed to your children and to their education and welfare, as are all of us here. And I know that given the partnership levels that we've identified in this community, we're very fortunate at MPH. So I just want to say thank you, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, one way or the other. Thanks.